Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Haunt Talk. In today's episode, we are going to be reviewing Hallowfest at Regal Vineyard, correct?
Yes.
This is like in the Geneva on the Lake area. This is our first time going to this haunt. This is the first time they've been doing it at this capacity. I think they've done it as a Haunted Winery before, but this is the first time where they've had multiple themes and whatnot. But yes, that being said, we hope you enjoy this episode of Haunt Talk. So, first thing, my voice might sound a little bit interesting in these next 3 episodes. It's better now, but I am getting over a cold, so also these videos might be coming up a little bit later just because we had to kind of postpone that a little bit, just because I couldn't speak. So, it kind of, when you're doing like a video / podcast-ish type thing, kind of need to be able to speak to do that. So,
yeah, we can't just have him hold up like a dry erase board.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. Yeah,
and it's later at night we're filming these. It's a Tuesday. We just got back from watching Terrifier 3. If you like the first 2, you definitely should go see that one. It's just as disgusting and depraved as everyone says it is. But yeah, so this was something, they've been doing this, I believe, for a couple years, the Haunted Winery.
Yeah.
But we were really interested to go to it because they advertise it as like this, Halloween festival with 4 different attractions, a corn maze, and some other stuff, which we'll talk more about in the actual review. But we were really curious to check it out, and there's also some talent that was working there that we've known has helped in other haunts that we really like and stuff like that, so we definitely wanted to check it out. I will say, pulling up to the place, it was like a party atmosphere,
yes,
like on the outside.
Very much so.
We very much liked that. It was very cute and stuff like that. I don't really know what exactly this place is like in the day. I think they do like family events and stuff. They had a board.
Yeah.
I think they do maybe hay rides for like kids and stuff like that. So you can go on their website to check that out. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, we'll go ahead and get into the review, and I will kind of tie some of the sets and props and stuff into that. But yeah, so that being said, we're going to get into that review, which means we must refer to the Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Before we get to talking about all of the different individual haunts, I really liked the atmosphere of this place.
Oh yeah, it was very chill and fun. Like they had bonfires all over.
Yeah.
They had a wine barn where you could go and they had like a full bar and they had wine and like nice places to sit.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, like with like a big chandelier, real pretty place.
And it was also decorated in there as well. They even had their own themed wine glasses that said, forget if it said the Haunted Winery or Hallowfest on it. I think it said the Haunted Winery.
It was the Haunted Winery with the skeleton face.
Yeah, they have like the skeleton logo. Yeah. And even the people that were bartenders there were dressed in Halloween costumes.
I give props to the woman that was dressed as the Bride of Frankenstein, because she had her hair, it was actually her hair, ratted up into the big beehive, which I really appreciated.
Yeah, they were really cool, and they had wine slushies and stuff, but they actually were mixing cocktails, handmade cocktails. I got a wine slush that was really good. And then Kim had it was like a s'mores campfire drink.
Yeah, it was really good too.
Which that was good, pretty reasonable. They also have a concession stand for food. They had this really nice, I guess it was just a place you could go eat. It was this cool barn type thing.
Yeah. Just kind of extra seating and stuff, some place to chill.
Yeah.
There were some fireplaces in there and stuff. And it just overall, it was just a really cool atmosphere.
It really was, and people were really enjoying it. There's a big stage. It does look like they have bands some nights. There wasn't one the night we were there. But yeah, like Kim said, just a really cool atmosphere as far as the midway or whatever you might want to call it. But now we'll actually get into the review. So one thing I will say is they claim it to be 4 separate attractions. I would challenge that a little bit. So, for example, you get a ticket, and all 4 attractions are on there. But when you go to the corn maze, they punch both, because it's the corn maze, and directly after that is, which the corn maze is called Cult of the Scarecrow, and then directly after that is Backwoods Nightmare. So they're like basically connected.
Yeah.
And then the same thing with the Haunted Winery in the Laughter House, which is the slaughterhouse, when they have the S crossed off. That's cute. They punch both when you enter the Haunted Winery, and the Laughter House is like very, very short. It's like it's almost like I would describe it kind of what, if you've been to the Haunted Hoochie.
The palate cleanser.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Where it's just this little tiny thing that's kind of like an extra.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not disagreeing there are 4 themes, but it's like you expect to like wait in line for all. It's kind of weird that they're kind of like, each one's one attraction with 2 separate themes split down the middle. Is more of how it feels.
Yeah, yeah.
Which again, it's still fine to advertise it that way. Just kind of a thing to note. But the first one we did was the Cult of the Scarecrow. So this one, not a lot to talk about in sets and props. There's a couple things, but it's mainly a corn maze.
Yeah, it's mainly corn maze.
Yeah. So there's not going to be like a lot to talk about there. They did have some like scarecrows, I guess.
Yeah.
They were kind of like helped you maybe kind of figure out where you were going. Mm-hmm. There also was like some decrepit farm equipment along the way, tires, stuff you would expect. The only like real scene I remember was like this weird like tilted camper.
Yeah, that was really strange because I had to walk in it by myself because I got separated by everybody.
Which we'll get to that more in Actors.
Yeah, and I'm just like, am I supposed to go in here?
Yeah, really, yeah. It kind of...
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, and it's freaky walking into that thing. Because it is. It's like the whole camper. It's tilted on its side, and you kind of like fall into it. Yeah, that was really unique. But the cool thing is the way it's designed is it is a maze, but I don't really know. You can't get lost. There's lots of paths, but they wind into the same general route.
And they had other paths blocked by barrels. I did notice that. So they kind of steered you towards where you needed to go.
Yeah, so maybe they have it as like a more challenging core maze in the day. Not sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because they had that stand there that had a scarecrow on it. And I'm pretty sure there's probably someone in there that gives clues and stuff from there. Because that's usually what they do with core mazes.
If you know, let us know. And then after the Cult of the Scarecrow was the Backwoods Nightmare. This would kind of... I would describe it as kind of like a shanty town, almost junkyard vibes, but like not with cars. Yeah. Yeah, this one I liked the way it was lit. It was like very like green, bluish lighting, very ethereal, very vibey. There's kind of like a storyline of like something culty like some kind of cult stuff going on.
What I think of is and we'll talk about her more in Actors, but I think it was. I know somebody kept talking about she is coming. We have to prepare or something like that. So I think there was like a witch or something like that they were preparing for, because I heard a few people mention she is coming. We need to get this, and you will make a great sacrifice for her and stuff like that.
Definitely felt like there was a storyline to the place. But yeah, again, this one it's hard to talk about sets and props because. It's not that there's not a lot of detail in this, but it is more of like a shanty town. Yeah. Not a maze, but it feels like you're exploring through all these weird crooked pathways.
Yeah.
It was fun to walk through.
And then those big water those big square water things, they had like a whole bunch of those in one area. That was, you had to like walk through those and stuff like that. And there was a really tight like a pallet maze kind of thing too that was some cool. Close quarter stuff.
And then the Haunted Winery definitely feels like it is the main attraction. While short, very well detailed. Very well themed.
Gosh.
One of the grossest, goriest kitchen scenes I've seen. Really disgusting.
Really nasty.
Yeah, really nasty, and of course in a good way because it's a haunted house. It's like a cool like living room scene. Pretty standard haunted house stuff for the most part. It is cool, though, since it's like the winery. I don't know if this is real or fake, but you eventually do go downstairs. where they have like the giant wine barrels and stuff.
I really liked that. That
which
was
had
really cool.
Tons of fog and was lit with all kinds of colors. Really cool looking down there.
Yeah, that was really neat. I really liked that part. I was like, oh my gosh, we're in like the winery, actual wine part.
Yeah, that was neat. And then you get to the clown section, which is pretty much what you expect. It was done pretty well. Very short, very brief. But, you know, you have your vortex tunnel. You have really tight claustrophobia tunnels. Some of the tightest we've been through, and you have to do like a back-to-back snake.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was too, like, oh.
Yeah, so if you're not a fan of those, good luck. But yeah, overall, we thought Sets and Props for what they were doing was really good. I am really, especially since it's like their first year doing all the other haunts outside of the main one. I'm really curious to see what they do in the future. I really, really, really hope that at some point they introduce a hayride as like another event. The clown thing for me personally doesn't do anything. I get that people like that, so I doubt they'd nix it. But yeah, if we could get a hayride on this place, I think that would kind of complete everything. And it looks like they do again offer daytime hayrides, so they have pathing there. I don't know how much land they have and what they have to work with. Don't even know if it's possible.
Yeah.
But if it is possible, that'd be amazing.
We'd love it.
Because the talent that's there and it already for being a first year haunt, I think is pretty good. But for Sets and Props, we gave it an 8.
So that moves us on to actors. There weren't a lot, but the ones that were there were really, really good.
Yes. And this is a time to bring up that this place does offer a touch pass.
Yes.
And this is weird because most places we go to that offer a touch pass, it feels like at least half of the audience that's there is doing a touch pass. There were not many people doing touch passes here. A lot of people were like, wow, you're really crazy for doing the touch pass. And we're just kind of like, I mean, not really, but okay. So we'll start in the same order. The corn maze. These are probably our favorite actors of the night.
Yes.
And again, there was only a handful, maybe, I don't know exactly how many, 5 to 7, maybe. Not a ton.
Yeah, there wasn't very many.
But like, man, the ones that were in there were really good, and they were aggressive.
Oh my gosh.
Like, the very first one we saw just ran at me, grabbed me, started spinning me in circles, and just basically shoving me into the other members of the group. And I'm like, all right, we're this kind of touch pass place. Not like a light grab, like a, no, like a Blood Prison, Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse, kind of like, yank you, grab you, shove you. And I'm like, I'm here for it. He was pretty aggressive. Probably one of our favorites in the corn maze was this dude that was like a dog. I don't know what was up with him, but he was...
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, he was really weird because he was like... He sniffed every single one of us.
Yeah, like crawling on the ground, sniffing us.
Crawling on the ground and sniffing us. And he stared at me for like the longest time. And it was really weird. It was really awkward at one point because he was literally just like...
And I believe he's the one that separated us.
Yeah.
And every time I would try and unseparate us, he would literally just shove me.
Yeah.
Into the point where we just eventually had to abandon Kim.
Yeah. I got abandoned a couple times.
Oh, that's right, because earlier on, someone separated us into 2 groups.
Yes.
Some woman, I forgot about her. But then again, he separated us from Kim. And Kim ended up doing most of the maze by herself because, like, they wouldn't let us get back to her because every time we did, he would just push us and stuff. So we finally caught up with her when we got close to that tilted trailer, which then there's a really awesome woman who was like literally playing a violin in the middle of the maze.
Yeah, not good.
Not good. It was all frayed and stuff.
Oh my gosh, it was so janky. It was so funny because you could just hear her. It's just like, I'm just like,
yeah. Also, the aesthetic of these actors were really cool. Like the costuming, the makeup design was definitely like. A lot of them are like using like animal parts to kind of like, use their getup, very witchy and just, well, it's Cult of the Scarecrow, so like it fits that vibe.
Mm-hmm. The one woman that actually separated me again from them, she had kind of like a almost like a deer skull on her head, but then she also had like some like feathers and stuff, so it was like this combination of like a bird, deer, or something, like some sort of weird creature that she made up or something, like maybe a wendigo or something.
Yeah. The next section, the Backwoods Nightmare, that's probably the one that needed actors the most. Wasn't a lot in there. There was a guy that let us in. That was pretty cool. And there's a couple towards the end. The one was really rough with me. There's like this corpse on like this altar. And she like grabbed me and she just manhandled me. Like just shoved me down to the point where the whole thing, I thought I was going to knock the corpse over. Because she shoved me into it so hard. Even they were commenting afterwards like, wow, she was really shoving you and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, she was. And there was some guy that was like stalking us to the end. I think he was like whispering weird things to us or something. The place that had the most actors would have been inside of the winery.
Yeah. I think every single room had at least a minimum of one person in it.
Yes.
Some had a few more. They had some like spots where they were able to get you a couple times, because I do remember encountering a couple people a couple times.
Lots of jump scares. This one we didn't get grabbed as much. Now we did have a couple, like the woman that introduced us into the house grabbed us like by the back of the neck and like shoved us in there.
Yep.
Then there was one girl that like made me and Kim dance with her.
Yeah, we sang Ring Around the Rosie with her. It was just, I liked the winery just because the way the actors were it's like very classic haunted house.
Yeah, it was very classic haunted house.
Yeah.
And then at the end there wasn't a lot in the clown section, but there was one guy that just continuously taunted us through like the majority of it.
Yeah, because he kept saying that he had to keep up. And he's like, you're going to get lost if you don't keep up with me. Yeah. And he just keep popping away and running away. And we're like, well, you keep running away. How are we going to keep up with you?
But yeah, actors, while again we thought they were very good, did definitely need more. But again, the ones that were there we thought did an excellent job. And especially, and the costume and makeup and all that was really good as well. So giving that an 8. So scare factor, again, if you do the touch pass, pretty aggressive. I think if we wouldn't have done the touch pass, the corn maze would have been a lot lesser. Like the interaction would have been fun, but none of them really jump scared us in the corn maze. It was more of just this aggressive, oppressive nature of them being there. Yeah. Like they run at you and stuff like that. So that can be intimidating, but because the corn maze is actually pretty lit. Weirdly. Yeah. There's like big lights, so it really isn't that dark. So it would be, some of them did kind of hide, but yeah, it'd be a little bit harder for them to hide and stuff like that. So I do definitely think if you're looking for a higher scare, get the touch pass, and we are rating with the touch pass because that was our experience. Now the house had a lot more jump scares and stuff like that, so if you're looking more for the high intensity jump scares, the house had that quite a bit. But yeah, scare factor, we thought it was pretty decently scary, and again, there was a bit of gore, especially with that kitchen scene. Oh yeah. We're giving that an 8.
So that brings us up to value. So a general admission ticket is $26. If you want to add on the fast pass or the touch pass, they're each $13. Yep. And it took us 25 minutes.
Altogether, not including lines, of course.
Yeah, to get through all 4 attractions. So with that, we gave it an 8.25. Yeah,
pretty decent value. And especially not just the haunted houses, but just the event itself was a lot of fun, especially if you go on nights with band playing. You could have a lot of fun just kind of hanging out by a fire with one of the many cocktails with some friends, and a lot of people were enjoying that. The line for the wine bar was almost as long as one of the haunted house. Yeah. So, you could definitely make a night of it. We didn't do fast pass. They were fairly busy the night we went, but
and they had a little beer truck.
Oh, yes, that was adorable.
Yeah, it was like a little tiny truck, and the guy was driving around, and he was in makeup, so I thought maybe it was just kind of a gag, like a little, scare actor running around and stuff. But then he stopped while we were waiting in a queue line, and he opened up the cooler, and he had actual beer to sell. Yeah. Which I thought was great. I'm like, that's actually a really smart idea, get people to, chill while they're waiting in line, especially because the lines were a little bit longer.
Yeah. And I do like that it feels like a festival as well. So that brings us to our overall score. And, all things considered, we gave it an 8. We think very good, especially for its first year operating as Hallowfest. I really hope they continue to do this. Yes. And expand upon it. I also like it because, so it's in Geneva on the lake area, which, there's tons of winery, tons of restaurants. It's a great option for the weekends because there's so many people going out there, especially this time of year because it's beautiful, with all the fall leaves changing and stuff. Having a day, going to the wineries and stuff like that. hopefully not getting too drunk and then going there. Don't be belligerent, but you're in Geneva, you're going to be drinking wine. If this is literally a haunted winery you're going to. I just think it's a great idea for them to have something like this there.
Yeah.
Because really, Geneva, at least like the wine country part of Geneva, everything closes around 7, 8 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So this is a great thing to do at night.
After, yeah.
To kind of keep you in that area. So yes, great idea. Hope they expand upon it. Hope they're open for many more years. And we'll definitely be checking it out in the future, especially if they do add another attraction. Like, please, that hayride. It doesn't even have to be that elaborate of a hayride. Just throw me on there and let me do a touch pass for the hayride. I want a hayride where they grab me. The only hayride I've ever done that is Bates Motel. And they did it very lightly. I want a hayride where they get up and just like, just mess me up. Like, please. But anyways, that does it for this review. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you're liking. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're ringing that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.